everybody. Today's video explaining what stick drift is and possible ways on how to fix it. In front of me today I have the older generation, as you can see from this section here. If it's not connected like that, it is not a Bluetooth, it is Wi-Fi, if I'm not mistaken. These ones that are connected like that is your slightly newer generation. They have Bluetooth connectivity, which you can also use on your phone or even a PC if you have the adapter for it. These ones are your slightly older ones. I'll be happy to open either one. Tell you what, I'll open the newer one today, seeing that nobody's got the older ones anymore. And I'll show you guys, as you can see, some of the components here. Yeah, I've got a stripped down model already, which I've stripped for other components plenty of times to fix my controller. So if you've got a spare one, that will definitely help you to replace some possible components. Alright, so let's get to it. What you will need is a very small screwdriver set and torque set and different style heads. So this I bought at a company that actually closed down, but any like Chinese factory or whatever, it's got all these small bits for your cell phones or any other small electronic items which you can then use on this controller. So yeah, let's get to it. So let's get this guy closer. So the first things you're going to want to do is obviously take out your batteries if you have any batteries in, and put your slide one side. Have a nice working environment, a clean working environment where you can put on. You're going to get tiny screws, tiny components, as you can see. So there is a screw behind this sticker. If your warranty is void, it's fine, just go ahead and break that sticker because you're going to have to get in there. So there's one over there. The other ones we're going to show you now, so you can use, I'll do this, let's say for instance I'm doing this for the first time in my life, so I will be acting as though I'm doing the first time, but I have the knowledge on how to do this safely without breaking it. So you're going to want to have a flathead or just a knife or something small, and you're going to pop it into the corners and just click it up. You'll hear it goes kind of back into position. It is designed to do that. I will show you. There you go, it comes off, easy as that. The little clips that you can see, the little tabs over here, these are the ones that hold on. Over here on the inside, over here again, those are the ones that hold in, and they're plastic. They're not that difficult to get loose. All right, let's get the other one off. So again, I'm coming in from this side. It's up to you which side. If you don't want to damage your controller, be very careful. It's all just plastic. There you go, it comes off nice and neat, nothing broken. Alright, so here are the screws that you are going to be looking at. It's this one here, this one here, the middle one I talked about, and same on this side. There's 5 of them. Now, one thing to notice, if I can get the camera nice and close, inside the screw there was a little pin. You can see there in the middle of that flower design. That little pin you're gonna have to break. That is a tamper-proof screw basically, but it takes a hexagon head. Let me show you with the right size. I think it is this one. So I'm going to show you. This is the torque flower. If I can just zoom it on there as best as I can, you can kind of see it there. So let's get into this guy. There we go, as easy as that. Now you are going to have to break those little center pins off. You can use a flat screwdriver and just go ahead and destroy the little center pins so that your screwdriver or the torque bit can actually enter and grip it properly, because you're going to want to reuse these screws. Alright, they are tiny, they are slightly specific, so you're going to want to reuse these screws. Also, don't over tighten anything. It's all just plastic anyway at the end of the day. Never over tighten. I mean, look at that. That's not. I've had this controller open numerous of times to fix a drift where I've swapped out components, and I will show you what components I swapped out. What to clean as well. So a lot of people say, let's just pause it there for a second. A lot of people say just blow in air duster or deodorant or something in between here, in between there. I would not advise that, because there's dirt that gets in, and look at that being stuck already. There's dirt that gets in, and it really messes it up. If you just spray it further in, you can see from the dirt that's already on top here, eating and playing games, guys. Alright, let's move on. So we had this one. We've taken out all those screws now. Now you can see this guy, top part is going to be loose. So what you're going to want to do is simply lift that guy off. Let's put that one side. Now we look like this, more gutsy, right? Interesting. Flip it over and just, you're going to want to get those triggers, that's right. Just neatly separate them. There's your whole casing now. Alright, and this is your motherboard. Now these two look different because once again they are different controllers, but I thought I'd go for the slightly newer one for today. I don't have any insulation tape with me right now, but a good idea would be just to put some insulation tape at the top here and then some insulation tape top here. This will keep your motors, at the bottom, over here and over here. Just wrap it around so your motors do not fall out. I don't play with my motors, it sucks more battery life anyway. A lot of people like it, gives you the shake and whatever, but protect your motors with the little wires that are on them. Yeah, don't let them get damaged. As you can see, tiny little wires, so don't let them drop. Right, let's move on. You need to get further into this guy. I'm going to flip it over. Let's move this to the one side. You need to get, see how my motors are falling out? You need to get inside. This is where the problem is. So you can now just pull these guys up. Analog caps. By the way, you get aluminium ones of these that don't wear out, especially in the middle here. I don't know if it can zoom in. You can see there slightly in the middle how it's been chafing as you're always running around. Let me just pop that back on. As you're running around and you're holding, it chafes actually in this cover over here. So this is where they chafe. As you can see, I'll put that back on, and you move it, it's touching. You can hear it. Without it, it's not touching. So we do need this top cover, unfortunately, but they do chafe after a while. You do get aluminium ones, which are different. Well, they're the same, they're just aluminium, and they don't wear out as much in that center area right there. Alright, so moving on. This is where the problem lies, guys. It's usually this guy I found first, your looking stick. This is your moving stick usually, and this is your looking stick. So inside here, allow me to point it to you guys. Inside these green little casings, there are these guys. Okay, this is your connecting film between, sorry, I've bent that one already a bit. Allow me to bend it back. There's so many pieces there. This is normally what they would look like, and they protrude just a little bit. Now I'm going to show you how to take them out and swap them and then clean them as well, because these guys are what gives the connection. So put that guy back there. As you can see, I have multiples of them. I've swapped out a few and whatever. Now you have one inside this guy, one inside this guy, one inside this guy, and one inside this guy. You have to strip this further to change this one, but allow me to show you, if you have movement drift, how to do it without taking off the motherboard. So you will need a flathead again, and then you will see inside there are two little gaps over there, one there, like these little black gaps. You can put your screwdriver in there, and then you simply just give it a slight wedge. Look at that, it just comes open. Turn it sideways, and I want to show you, you push it back a bit, not too far. You don't want to break it off, but it does stop against the housing. So inside there is this disc. You want to take note of how you take it out always. Put it in the same direction, but once you get that guy out, allow me to get my tweezers real quick. Alright, we're back, and I got my tweezers with me. So you're going to want to take your tweezers and just grab that guy ever so gently. Open it a little bit more if you have to. And just push it down a bit more. Once you've got it, take note of the top side being where that little lift is. Alright, Can I show you guys? There you go, you can see it where that little lift section is. That's going to be your top. See the little slot that it has in the middle, and this one has that slot over there. So that is where you got to fit it perfectly. That's the area we're going to clean inside there. So what I like to do is take a Q-tip, and you got some meth spirits or anything clean, some nail polish remover, that also works. And then once you've dipped it in, you simply get it in there, and you clean that area out as best as what you can. Now we're going to take the motherboard off, and I'm going to show you how to clean in even more. Take a look at that. See all that black stuff, that gunk? Look at that. Okay, so that's the stuff you want to clean off. Now if you don't want to do it this way, or you can't get it out this way, then you're going to have to take off the motherboard. This is fairly simple. Now this is the slightly newer one. It's not the latest ones. I've got one of those as well, by the way, thanks to my beautiful fiance. You're going to want to take off this communication tab just ever so slightly, and put something underneath it maybe, and just lift it up. I'll show you what it looks like. There you go. So it has a tiny little hole there that you can just put her back on. So you need that out of the way. Okay. Then we need a smaller bit of what we were using earlier. And I have so many, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's this one here. Alright, let's see. Now, you're just going to take out the first board, not the second board. Here we go. This guy right here. See, those screws are smaller than the ones we were using, so try to separate them. Alright, this one here. Magnetic tips obviously help a lot. Okay, now that we've got those two off, I think that is all for that. Right, here comes the interesting part. There is a circuitry underneath here, which is just a clip fit. So once you've got those two screws off already, you put something underneath and you can lift it. Now this guy will want to fall out if you have this kind of design of controller. This is your earphone plug-in. It lies loose and it just makes connection, but as you can see, just gonna pop it in. This one's been removed a few times. It could be a little harder than that to do, but allow me to show you. There you can see the two white sections, that one there and that one there, that just simply clip into each other. Allow me to put it back for you real quick. So you want to make sure that your 3.5mm jack access is in its place like that, and then you place her on top. You'll feel it does position and then click in place. So let's get her off again. There you go. And then there we are. Now I've broken off a few wires because I've done this a few times, but these wires I cannot for the life of me figure out. I think it's a signal to the motor. This is the power to the motor, and this could be the signal with the resistors and such, but I'm not too sure. It makes no difference to my controller, seeing that I don't use the motors anyway. Alright, so let's move on. Now we've got this guy out. So it's not out, the wires are still attached, at least on the one side. As you can see, I can flip it out now. But this is where we want to be, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there you can see, you can open them all now. Allow me to do one more just to show it to you. So I'm going to put this one back. This is the best combo I could get for them. So let's put her down. This one is going to fit. You can see it's bent a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it back out a bit to make contact as it should, just like that. Alright, that looks better. That's almost what it looks like standard when you take it out. That was a good view now. Right, So we need to get it back in there and on that slot. The torch is usually good. Look at me now. Alright. There you go. And you would want to get her on first, but you can click it together, move it a bit, make sure she's in place, and then to double check to know if you are right, you can look down the middle there and just make sure that your little white tab is in the middle over there. Alright, so again we just check it. There you go. No, that's not 100%. Give it a bit of a jiggle. Give it a bit of a jiggle. There we go. That actually felt better. And you got to make sure that it closes all the way. If it does not close all the way, you have a problem. Click. There it is. Alright. Back in place. And there she is. Don't worry if you hear some sounds. Remember, you're not supposed to go as far as what the allowance is now. Once you got your disc in, give it a nice test run. Make sure it's working right. Everything's sounding good. And then what I forgot to mention is when you open these guys the first time, you will find a gray plastic tab over here and over here. Now I've opted to remove mine. Allow me to show you on the older controller. There's that gray plastic tab right there. So I've opted to remove mine already because, and you can see I've taken out those discs. I just feel it's better. It's up to you if you want to keep them in or not. I've heard a lot of people say take them out. Alright, so anyway, once you've got your discs out and you've cleaned them, pop them back in the right manner. Now just simply reassemble your controller in the way that you have dismantled it, very carefully. Alright. Everything in its place, very gently. Those wires I do not care about, it's the motor. Right, the other way, beg your pardon. Connection cable, carefully, gently out the way. Back in place, make sure all your components are where they should be before clicking her into place. As you can see, they all are. Click, there it was. So now we simply put our connection cable back on, just like that. Alright, back in place. And now remember to put your screws on. Please excuse the background noise. This is South Africa. We are working from home. So moving on. I've got the magnetic tip, which really helps once again. If you guys want me to, I'll make another in-depth video of how to strip down further to have all these components out. If you have dirt, grime, anything in between the buttons for sticky buttons, I'll be happy to do another video on that alone. So once we got everything back in place, just like that. Alright, now we can flip her over. Get your analogs back on. They only go in one. Have a quick feel. They feel good. Alright. And then you can reassemble. Now we begin with our lower casing. Ah yes, the infamous button. It's my bad. You have to flip her in. What I do is I just push the buttons ever so slightly, and there she is in her place. She will have a bit of a gap here, but you got to make sure you've got it lined up just right. You'll know when it's right. You will feel everything in its place. So just push the triggers ever so slightly. Don't forget your battery connector plates. There. Triggers. She's in place. Okay. Now, no screws yet. Top cover. Top cover's on. Make sure it just sits flush over here. You know you got everything in its place. Keeping them together with your fingers. You can now move on to your screws. And that should be that, ladies and gentlemen. You can check your controller's buttons setup, as well as you can check for drift on the Xbox. You will go to controllers and connected devices, and then you'll go to controllers, and you can do a diagnostic to just run and see when you push any button. It will come up on your screen. It will show and display that you are pushing that said button or even analog stick, so you can determine whether or not you have drift. Otherwise, alternatively, go into a game where you can free roam, GTA, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, even Call of Duty. With Call of Duty, you can go to your weapons, you view your weapons, and if she's floating left or right, you know you still got a problem. Cleaning is essential, as well as putting the components back correctly is essential. It takes a little bit of practice. There are more YouTube videos out there to also show you how to do it. All the screws are in. Take your little panels. Simple as that. This side. Simple as that. She's now assembled again. Everything feels good. Okay. Batteries can go back in. Cover plates. And guess what? She works. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see more videos on how to strip more in depth onto possibly something like this, where you can even assess all your buttons to clean them, because perfect example, you play, you eat, you live. It does happen. You get sticky buttons and they look like this at the end of the day. So if you want to know how to clean those, clean your pad, check the rest of your controller more in depth, let me know in the comments below. But this one should be good, because I know I've already replaced those little rings which are right there. There's already 3 spares there. But yeah, that's us for today, everybody. Hope you get your controller working. These ones are perfect, and I also have the newer one which I actually play with. So thanks for watching.